Friday's episode of The Young and the Restless pulled viewers deep into the unpredictable and dangerous dance of trust, betrayal, and ambition. Genoa City was buzzing with whispers, and while some players maneuvered cautiously, others took bold swings that threatened to ignite full-scale chaos. At the heart of the hour, Billy Abbott's restless ambition resurfaced, setting him on a collision course with Kane Ashby, one that could leave both men broken, but only if Billy's double-cross pays off. Billy's quiet storm. The episode opened with Billy pacing his suite at the Grand Phoenix, clearly at war with himself. His usual charm was clouded by a hard glint in his eyes. A man who once swore he was turning over a new leaf now seemed incapable of walking away from schemes. He replayed Kane's promises from earlier in the week, offers of partnership, whispered hints of fortune, and assurances of loyalty. But Billy wasn't buying all of it. "I know your game, Kane," Billy muttered under his breath, tossing a half-empty glass of whiskey onto the counter. "And I'm going to beat you at it." The camera lingered on him as he pulled out his phone, texting a mysterious contact. "It's time. Let's move before Kane does." Billy wasn't just entertaining the idea of betrayal, he was already setting the plan in motion. Kane's optimism. Meanwhile, Kane sat in crimson lights, sipping coffee and sketching out numbers on his tablet. His energy was lighter, almost hopeful. He believed the arrangement with Billy was finally going to secure him a seat back at Genoa City's power table. Kane's history of missteps weighed heavily on his reputation, but in his mind, this deal was his redemption arc. "Abbott needs me," Kane told himself, smiling faintly. "He doesn't even know how much." As he tucked away his notes, Lily called to check in. Their conversation was short but revealing. Lily expressed concern about Kane partnering with Billy, reminding him of the Abbott family's history of volatile moves. Kane brushed it off with trademark confidence, assuring her that this time, he held the upper hand. Viewers knew better. Victor and Nikki's side-eye. Over at the Newman Ranch, Victor and Nikki discussed the shifting tides in the business world. Victor, ever the watchful patriarch, had caught wind of Billy and Kane's partnership. His expression darkened as Nikki poured him a drink. "Kane Ashby and Billy Abbott," Victor said with a scoff. "That's not a partnership. It's a disaster waiting to happen." Nikki raised an eyebrow, noting the familiar gleam of competition in Victor's eyes. While Victor claimed he was merely amused, Nikki reminded him that Billy had a knack for recklessness and Kane for desperation. Together, they could destabilize Genoa City's already fragile alliances. Victor smirked knowingly. Or, he mused, they could destroy each other. "And I won't lift a finger." Sally's warning. Elsewhere at Newman Media, Sally's specter picked up on the ripples of unrest. She intercepted Kane in the lobby, her tone equal parts casual and sharp. "You're playing with fire, Kane," she warned, flipping her hair with her usual bravado. "Billy doesn't even trust himself half the time." "What makes you think he'll trust you?" Kane tried to brush her off, but Sally pressed harder. She reminded him that Billy had a track record of betrayal, citing the countless schemes he'd pulled against partners, friends, and even family. "Billy Abbott doesn't share the spotlight," she added. "If you think he's going to let you walk away with the bigger piece of the pie, you're in for a rude awakening." Kane chuckled, though his eyes flickered with doubt. Sally's words lingered, gnawing at the edges of his bravado. Billy's dangerous play. Back at the Grand Phoenix, Billy's mysterious contact was revealed. None other than Phyllis Summers. She appeared at his door, arms crossed and smirk in place, curious about the urgency of his text. Billy wasted no time. He laid out his plan to cut Kane out of their arrangement before Kane even realized what was happening. He painted it as a clever business maneuver, one that would secure both money and power. Phyllis listened carefully, her sharp eyes narrowing. "You know Kane's not stupid, right? He'll see this coming." Billy shrugged. "Then I'll just have to stay 2 steps ahead." Though skeptical, Phyllis admitted the idea of watching Kane fall flat on his face had its appeal. She agreed to help Billy finesse the details, though viewers were left wondering whether she was genuinely on board, or simply biding her time to use Billy's scheme for her own advantage. Devon's instincts. Over at Chancellor Winters, Devon Hamilton caught wind of Kane's latest endeavors. Though details were fuzzy, his instincts screamed trouble. Devon confided in Abby that Kane was once again chasing shortcuts instead of stability. Kane can't resist the hustle, Devon sighed. And whenever he gets in over his head, it's the rest of us who end up cleaning up the mess. Abby agreed, noting that Billy was equally reckless. Put them together, she said, and it's like handing matches to two arsonists. Devon resolved to keep a close eye, even if it meant intervening before things spiraled. Tensions explode. The episode's climax came when Billy and Kane met at Society to finalize the next step. Kane arrived with excitement, convinced they were moving toward something solid. Billy, however, was already several moves ahead, laying subtle traps in the conversation. He flattered Kane, told him he was indispensable, then quietly slipped in clauses and conditions that would ultimately edge Kane out. Kane didn't catch it immediately. He was too busy soaking in the validation he'd long craved. But when Billy excused himself to take a call, Kane glanced at the notes Billy left on the table. His eyes widened as he realized the truth. Billy was already working with a backup partner. Kane's face hardened, and the music swelled. The betrayal wasn't complete yet, but the seed had been planted. Kane knew now that Billy was setting him up, and that meant war. Closing montage. The final montage set the stage for next week's fallout. Billy smirking as he walked out of Society, convinced Kane hadn't caught on. Kane staring at Billy's notes, his jaw tightening with anger and determination. Phyllis sipping wine alone, clearly plotting her own angle. Victor chuckling at the ranch, telling Nikki, "Let them destroy each other. It saves me the trouble." Devon looking worried as he made a call, vowing to protect his family's interests. The camera returned to Billy, standing in the neon glow outside the Grand Phoenix. He looked up at the sky, almost exhilarated, and muttered, "Your move, Kane." Fade to black. Final thoughts. Friday's episode reminded fans why the young and the restless thrives on the intricate dance of ambition and betrayal. Billy's decision to double-cross Kane may be thrilling in the short term, but in Genoa City, no scheme stays buried for long. As the walls close in, alliances shift, and old grudges resurface, viewers are left to wonder, who will outmaneuver whom? One thing's certain, Billy and Kane are headed for a showdown, and when the dust settles, Genoa City may never be the same.